Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here for another one of the Global Luxury Team's educational workshops. We launched this series mid-2025 to give agents more luxury education opportunities. Our workshop today is extra special because we have a special guest here with us today to help us further explain how to leverage the global network. I'm Morgan Dersch. I'm the luxury marketing manager for Minnesota, Missouri, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. And I'm joined by Candace Watts.
Hi, everyone. I'm Candace. I am the luxury marketing specialist support for Texas, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
And then we are joined by our special guest speaker, Senior Director of Global Services, Caitlin McMurdo. Caitlin works with all of our international master franchises, their franchisees, and our international agents. Caitlin, if you wouldn't mind maybe just saying a couple of things about what you do as a brief introduction.
Sure, absolutely. It's so nice to be with all of you here today. I'm sure I've met some of you at different luxury events and at different office visits and Gen Blue. So I'm very thrilled to be here with you, and thank you to the luxury marketing team for the opportunity, because there is often confusion about the global network versus global luxury and what that means. I do not work in marketing, unfortunately, or on the global luxury program, but I do oversee our global operations outside of the US. And essentially what that means is I work with the people that license the rights to the brand for an entire country or region, and I help them build their business. So that means building their brokerage operations, their franchising operations, leveraging the brand, working with them to provide brand resources and best practices for how we run a franchise system in the United States. So part of that, though, is that I know all of our operations around the world, and I often am helping our US agents understand how they can best leverage that for their own value proposition. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today.
Hey, perfect.
And as much as we hate this next part, Caitlin, thank you so much for that. But before we dive into everything that Caitlin is going to give us today, we do have a few housekeeping items to go over. First thing is this class is being recorded, so while you can feel free to take notes throughout, you will have this recording to refer back to at a later date, which will also be helpful as we will be sharing a ton of great info with you today. Second thing is the chat, as well as everyone's cameras and mics, have been disabled and will be throughout the presentation to allow you to focus on the content. Third is we will host a live Q&A at the end of this presentation. At that time, we will enable your mics and cameras. Lastly, we have a few disclaimers that we're required to run through so that we can share this recording, which we'll try to do quickly.
Okay, we appreciate everyone for being here today. This program is optional, and we are going to be discussing best practices. If you are thinking of adopting any of these, just be sure to review the requirements within your region or with your manager, including those related to contacting consumers.
So as a real estate agent, I'm sure we have all heard this numerous times, but AI tools like Microsoft Copilot are tools that you can definitely tap into. It's a variety of ways that you can use them, some of which we will cover in today's workshop. Remember though, AI isn't always spot on, so it's essential you proofread and ensure the information is accurate, but also compliant with copyright laws, ethical standards, and fair housing regulations. Because ultimately you're going to be responsible for the content. Be sure to always exercise good judgment, protect confidential information, and review AI generated content thoughtfully.
We also do want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, also known as TCPA. The general rule is if someone has recently given you their phone number, it is okay to give them a call, but be sure to check the DNC list regularly if you haven't spoken to them in a while. You also want to check the DNC list anytime you don't have permission. Automated calling and texting platforms should never be used, and pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should also never be used. And again, you will be held personally liable for any violations of the TCPA.
So in this slide, you can see how to navigate the Do Not Call list within Desk. You're going to sign into Desk, click on the Do Not Disturb tile, and then type in the phone number that needs to be checked. The results will show the records for the federal, state, and our own Anywhere Advisors company do not call list.
Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we are here to talk about something that truly sets our brand apart, and that is the power of the Global Luxury Network and how you can use it to leverage it to grow your business. Before we dive in, I want to cover just a few of the topics that we're going to address today. So first, the power of the Global Luxury Network, international collaboration, leveraging tools and resources, engagement strategies that you can take with you and use and implement, next steps and how you can get involved. And then, as Candace had said, we will wrap up at the end with a Q&A.
So as many of you may be aware, and as Morgan kind of called out, we have made a major investment in the luxury space with Coldwell Banker. Because of that commitment, our global luxury marketing team has expanded. Our team started in 2025 as a team of 4, and now we've grown to over 15 marketers. Our team brings deep expertise across all facets of luxury marketing, from digital strategy and design to product innovation and campaign development. This allowed us to get more in front of more luxury agents than ever before, but also create new and much needed resources for you as agents. I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin to introduce the global network and master franchises. Caitlin, go for it.
Absolutely. I'll just direct you when I'm ready for us to move to the next slide. So you can probably go right ahead right now. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all today. So as the ladies discussed, we're going to be talking about 2 aspects today that I think are really important for us to delineate and understand the difference, which is our global network and then the aspects of the global luxury marketing program that are going to help you also get visibility internationally for your listings and all the amazing tools and syndication that our brand provides through the luxury marketing program. I'm going to talk to you more today about our global network, how you can leverage it, what it means for you, and how to truly make it a part of your value proposition. You can see here, this is just about almost perfectly accurate for our current global presence. We are currently sitting at 47 countries with over 96,000 agents worldwide, which is really incredible. And if you are really interested in knowing more and learning more and leveraging this information, I would encourage you to utilize the ColdwellBankerInternational.com website to always be aware of our country presence and where we have offices. And not only do we feature our offices and agents and listings from around the world on that website, but if you go to the footer, we will always have the most current list of countries where we have presence with hyperlinks to those regional websites so you can get the most accurate and up-to-date information if you ever have questions about where we are, if you're visiting a country, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and you'd like to visit an office or see if there's an office in an area, that's always going to be the quickest and best way to find that information, as we have opened 6 new countries this year alone. So that information is always updating and changing. I want to make sure you have it. But as the ladies mentioned, I work really hard to make sure that we are as connected across borders as possible. And we're going to show you a little video of what that looks like on the next slide, how the Coldwell Banker brand appears around the world. Thank you. So as you can see there, we are in currently, sorry, that video says 48. It just changed to 47 2 weeks ago. So it just goes to show how quickly things change internationally. But we are in all of those countries and we have different operations all over the world. One of the things and themes of today that I will hit on a lot is that real estate practices vary wildly around the world. So the brand may look a little different, not the marks and the logos, of course, but the way operations work, the business practices, they're going to change a lot. However, this is a huge opportunity because, as you all know, as real estate agents, local expertise is so important. And by having this vast global network, you have an opportunity to create different revenue streams for yourself by referring business outside of the US. and you know that those luxury clients that you're already working with, that's an expectation that you'd be able to help them or support them or get them in contact with a great agent in another part of the world. And I'm very happy to say that at Coldwell Banker, we're almost at 50 countries, and we will be by the beginning of next year. We also have 109 countries that we have access to brokerages through our partners and our sister brands that we can leverage, and we do. So it's a really nice opportunity for you to still capture that referral business and be able to work with your client to get them in touch with a great agent to help support their needs. We also really love to focus on the idea that you are able to differentiate your business this way because, again, that luxury clientele is going to be investing and buying in other parts of the world potentially. And in the past year or two, we have seen more outbound international referrals than ever before. So this is a really key time to be talking about this. Go to the next slide. And so, talking about those referrals, one of the most important things is that I like to call it the golden rule of referring, which is that you should be referring to people how you would like to be referred to. And so, on this slide that we have, I'm not going to get into the detail of everything I'm saying here, but it's really, really important that you're qualifying leads. When you talk to your clients, and that's the number one thing you should always be doing, right? In touch with your clients, make sure you know what's going on. They're looking or thinking about buying in a place like Costa Rica or Canada or the islands, that you're in touch with them so that they know to consult you on how to get in touch with the right agent. You need to be sending a lot of detail and information and make sure that it's a real lead. If you know someone who's thinking about buying in Europe, that is not a qualified lead. We can't really help you with that. We need to make sure that clients know where they want to go, what market they're interested in, that we have specifics such as budgets or language requirements, because all of that is going to ensure and create a higher success rate for the referral. And we really want to make sure at the end of the day that you're putting yourself in a position to succeed with your client, and we're putting our brokers around the world in a position to succeed with their clients. It's also important to know that you may have met a lot of our international agents around the world at different events. They may not always be the right partner for a specific market, though. So if you know who you want to work with and you're submitting an international referral to cbrefer.com, it's wonderful to include that information. But if you don't know who the right agent is, our team can help find that person for you. Just make sure you have all the other details for them, and we'll get you in touch with the best partner for that market. I would also just advise that when you are submitting international referrals or you're working with a client, that you make sure to share with them, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail, that there is a big difference in business in a lot of parts of the world. Make sure you're staying in touch with them and that they're getting what they need. You should really be earning that referral that you agree on. So you can go to the next slide.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about leveraging tools and resources. This is one of the biggest advantages about being part of the Global Luxury program, is the reach that your listings get automatically. Our team has built strategic partnerships and developed digital resources to give your properties international exposure without any extra steps from you. It all starts with our Global Luxury website, which serves as a showcase for your listings to a worldwide audience of qualified buyers and top agents. From there, our partnerships amplify that reach across multiple international platforms, ensuring your properties are seen where luxury clients are looking.
And to hit on the Global Luxury website, it is exclusive to Coldwell Banker Global Luxury properties. It's so easy for international buyers to find your listings with built-in language translations as well as currency conversions. So there shouldn't be any issues on what their budget and location is looking for. So the site receives so many significant international activity because of those features we offer, making it a powerful platform for your global exposure for those properties. We're beautifully designed and it's easy to use, and it features all the global luxury branding, so you can definitely direct your digital marketing back to the web page to keep your marketing pieces consistent. We also help drive traffic to the site through syndication partnerships and providing tools to monitor how much traffic your listing is actually getting. Those insights can be especially helpful if your property has been on the market for a while, perfect for sharing with sellers or even incorporating into the digital marketing strategies. Inclusions on the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury site happens automatically based on the price point for those luxury thresholds.
And then luxury properties that are priced at or above 2 million enjoy international syndication through ProperStar. ProperStar is the largest international real estate advertising network, and it automatically publishes property listings to leading real estate sites around the world, such as China's Fang, East West, the United Kingdom's ProperStar UK, and more. ProperStar Global is syndicated to over 75 different portals, reaching over 41 different countries, and then putting your listing in front of over 135 million potential buyers. And then also it translates into over 16 different languages. So ensuring visibility to buyers all around the world, even if they are not using a US-based platform.
So our global strategy is built to help you connect and succeed internationally. It's one of the major points with Coldwell Banker. Firstly, we do that through the Coldwell Banker Global Referral Network. You can gain access to a trusted circle of agents worldwide, opening doors to the collaboration as well as new business opportunities across multiple borders. So next we have the Luxury Property Specialist Interactive Directory. So this can be found on our Global Luxury website, and it gives you a clear view of all of those Global Luxury certified partners, making it so easy to identify where your referral opportunities are, but also strengthen those relationships globally. We do leverage the syndication platforms like we've talked about to showcase your listings on those prestigious international websites to ensure they reach those affluent buyers where they're actually searching for those properties at. And also, lastly, we provide tailored marketing assets designed for the cultural relevance and impact. So your presentations resonate with international audiences looking to purchase within the US. That's how we turn the global reach into those real results for you. As a reminder, all of the resources and information and links you need on the Global Luxury team can be found on desk. You'll find the resources to links like our listing guidebook, the trend report, as well as details on those international syndications that we talked about. But also don't forget, if you're ever worried about what those thresholds are, you can also find the threshold calculator on desk.
Okay, now let's shift to another one of the most important parts of growing your luxury business, and that is engagement strategies. So this portion is where we'll talk about how you can take advantage of events and opportunities to build meaningful connections. If you want to grow your luxury business, you have to start by showing up. Luxury real estate is a global business, and the best way to grow your network is by connecting with agents worldwide. At Gen Blue this year, we had over 200 international agents representing over 30 different countries. So Gen Blue is more than just a conference, it is a global gathering. We also hosted exclusive networking receptions for luxury property specialists, and through workshops, the marketplace, sessions, and all of the great evening events, agents had the opportunity to connect with other agents from across the world. Beyond Gen Blue, we've also launched our national networking events this year, Luxury on Location. We've got one more happening in January, but Luxury on Location was designed to help you build your connections. At our most recent Luxury on Location, we welcomed agents from over 14 different countries, creating an opportunity for agents to share insights and build relationships across borders. These events are a cornerstone of the Global Luxury program. Attending means you're not just networking locally, you're connecting worldwide with a community of elite agents. We also host our international summits, which I'll pass it over to Caitlin in just a minute to talk more about. But our Global Luxury Summits bring together top agents from around the world for collaboration and learning.
Yeah, I just really wanted to highlight, and Morgan, I love what you said about showing up. One of the things I like to say to people is you have to work the network, right? Just becoming a Coldwell Banker agent or getting your luxury property specialist certification is not enough. You have to put in the work. And I think no one does that better than some of our global luxury agents that are from around the world. You see in this video here the wonderful global luxury summit we had in Miami last year. We had 8 different countries represented. That was a 1.5 day event. And we had 8 people fly in from as far as Dubai, Mexico, Costa Rica, Spain. And in Los Angeles, we had attendees from France and Italy. So I really encourage you to make the efforts where possible to attend these events, because that is how you're really going to make the best connection with people, is going to be in person.
When you attend events like Gen Blue or the Global Summit or a Luxury on Location, the goal is to make these meaningful connections, not just collect business cards. So we put together a couple of strategies to really help you capitalize on being at these events and networking. The first is bring something memorable. I remember at this past Gen Blue when we were in Vegas, there was one team that created these stickers with the Las Vegas skyline, and they had QR codes that led to their website. And it was such a creative way to spark conversation and to be memorable. I know that there were a lot of great things that people brought to Gen Blue in order to make those connections.
Yeah, I even had a great agent. I'm based here in Texas, and she was from Austin. And if you don't know, now you will. Tito's vodka is made and produced in Austin. So for Gin Blue, what she did is she got these little mini vodka things from Tito's and actually put her business card and a little bit of information about her and intentionally networked with people who are coming to her market with those buyers as well as those sellers. And she's already gotten 4 referrals just off that from Gin Blue.
Oh, that's amazing. And then the next one that I have up here is make sharing your information easy. Have plenty of business cards ready. You don't want to be fumbling for your business card. You want to have it ready to go. You could also consider creating a QR code for your contact information. And I've even seen people create the QR code and then save it on their phone as the wallpaper. So then it's just a quick picking up their phone to give out their contact information. We've also seen that there are a lot of digital business card platforms and things too that we would recommend as well.
Yeah, and there's actually a company called Dot that does it beautifully. They are not the only ones by any means, though. So take a look at some of those companies because it's pretty cool what they can do nowadays. But on top of that, you do not want to forget to use the event technology that we've given you. So many of our events, like the Luxury on Location, have apps where you can actually build your profile and start connecting before you even arrive. So take advantage of it. It's a great way to warm up conversations and even see who's going to be there already attending. Also, don't forget to engage on social media. I'm sure it's something we've all heard, but in today's digital world, you cannot forget to engage. Follow those other agents, comment on their posts and stories, but also use event hashtags. It's an easy conversation starter, but it also keeps the connection alive after the event. We also have a Facebook group for luxury property specialists that you should have received an invite when you joined the Global Luxury program.
We're also going to put that, oh, sorry, Candace. I was just going to say, we're also just going to put that link in the chat at the end. So if you didn't get it, don't worry, you'll have access by the end of today.
So you also don't want to forget to set a goal though. You want to decide how many of those new connections you actually want to make, and do not forget to focus on the quality. Quantity is great, but if it's not the people you need to meet, you're not going to actually grow your business. A few of those strong relationships can lead to the referrals and a long-term partnership for many years to come. Do not forget to be prepared for your elevator pitch. I don't like elevator pitches, but we need them. You need to know how to introduce yourself in a market that's so clear and memorable. We do have some past workshops. One of them is actually called Perfecting Your Pitch. That's perfect for this. You can find those on our YouTube channel, and I will send out those links in the chat towards the end of the call for you, so you don't have to go looking for them now. As a part of your luxury property specialist network, you do have exclusive access to things like this quarter at Luxury. So those are put on by Michael, and it's an excellent way to stay informed on everything that's happening within Global Luxury. Each of those sessions delivered so many valuable insights, from top agent panels that discussed the global luxury marketing trends to even conversations with expert guest speakers, as well as industry leaders on those timely topics, such as the transformative power of AI. Invitations to this quarter at Luxury are sent directly from Michael, so keep an eye on your inbox, mark your calendars, and you do not want to miss those. In fact, the most recent This Quarter at Luxury actually featured Michael, of course, but alongside him, he had Brandon Newman. Brandon's the Vice President of Marketing, and he was able to announce some exciting details about our newest initiative, the launch of Coldwell in early 2026. Coldwell is our way of reimagining a magazine experience. It goes so far beyond the traditional print that we've all seen and heard from. Crafted with you in mind, this elegant editorial-driven platform is designed to elevate the extraordinary listings and exceptional lifestyles that you as agents represent every single day. It's more than a magazine. Coldwell is a powerful marketing engine. It expands your reach through prestige print distributions, premium digital channels, and ongoing social amplifications. It's also your opportunity to advertise alongside those international partners we've been talking about. So many of those global agents are already reserved space to showcase their listings for that magazine.
Okay, and so talking about those global connections in action, I love this slide because it shows some of our best agents around the world and also at our US events with our global agents that are visiting and spending a lot of their personal resources to come and attend and meet you. And I like what you highlighted above, ladies, talking about how, it's maybe not trying to make every single connection, but the important ones. And I think, as always, that's going to start in your market, understanding where are a lot of referrals going? Where are people interested in buying not in your market, or people that live in your market? Where are they looking to go? Is there a theme? Are those the places that you should be really trying to make connections to? I would note that while we still see loads of referrals from places like California, New York, and Florida, we're starting to see referrals from every single state in the United States outbound. I have had Missouri to Italy. I have had Louisiana to Vienna, Austria. I have had Bowling Green, Kentucky to South Africa for a $13 million listing. So the bottom line here is, more than even working our network and our agents, you need to be talking to your network and your sphere of influence, and always be top of mind. So the minute they start to think, I may be interested in buying somewhere outside the US, you're the first name that they think of. But if you want to engage with our agents, and we'd love you to, I really do encourage you to know some of the things that are important. Like I said, you don't need to understand every business nuance that is different outside the US, but you should understand that only the US, Canada, and a few select other countries even have a multiple listing service. In some countries, at a certain price point for a buyer, there aren't buyer's agents. So it's really important to know those things so you can help guide your client, and that you get in touch with an office if you want to learn more. I would also note that, just understanding the cultural nuance of things, maybe calling an office in Italy on a Saturday of Easter weekend. You may not get a response for a few days, and that may sound obvious. Or that in the month of August, a lot of our European offices are not operating for several weeks, if not the whole month. These are things that are just different culturally. And I know in the US, we're very, we love to work and we are working around the clock, but that is just not simply the case in other countries. There are holidays that we don't necessarily celebrate that are active in other countries. So it's really good to understand those things to help you, even acknowledging the difference in time zones, right? If you're calling an agent to talk to them and, it's 5 p.m., if they're in Europe, they're probably not going to be able to answer. So just considering those things, that will help build trust and also just build a good relationship. I would also advise you to leverage the support teams. If you ever have a question about who the right agent is, feel free to reach out. Right office, do we have a presence? Like I said, you can go to that website directly, but we're also really happy to help you. Following these best practices are really going to help you. And I have this beautiful example I would love to share. There was an agent that was recently recruited. I won't name, but it was in Florida. And one of the reasons they wanted to join Coldwell Banker was because of our global network. And that agent, shortly after affiliating, was in Italy and using her own ingenuity, went out and found the local Coldwell Banker office in Rome in the area that she was staying in. She went in, met with some of the agents and the team, and not even a few months later, she received a referral because an Italian professional basketball player got acquired by the Miami Heat, where she happened to be in market. So I can't promise that there's going to be a professional basketball player moving to your market, but I can't promise you that won't happen if you're not making connections and meeting with people. I know we all like to travel a lot, and I encourage you to see if there's Coldwell Bankers. Our global network is just full of enthusiasm. They love the brand and they love to meet you. So if you're somewhere visiting, I always encourage you to stop by and see if there's a local Coldwell Banker and try to build that relationship if it makes sense. So as far as next steps go for you to really activate this, there's a few things I'd ask you to focus on. We've covered the first part a lot, and that, like I said, it's really working your sphere of influence to understand and make sure that you're top of mind for all their real estate needs, because that is income streams that you can be creating even if they're looking at buying in the islands, France, Italy. You want to make sure that you're the name that comes to mind so you can send that referral through cbrefer.com. We also really want you to be thinking about meeting our global partners, meeting those agents and affiliates, attending the events. I think everyone that attends the events, especially our luxury events, comes back and feels like it was very, very valuable use of their time, and they create relationships that I now see people that know each other so well from simple introductions that were made at luxury summits, and it's a really wonderful thing to see. I also think you need to understand the value of our global network and educate yourself about it. Know where we're present. Check the website. Follow our blog. We are constantly posting and highlighting about different markets and offices in our Around the World feature that's on social media and the Coldwell Banker blog. And we're also always talking about the growth and where we are. So please keep yourself educated and informed, and leverage those materials in your own newsletters to help agents understand that you're connected to this network. We create all of this material, whether it's on our luxury blog or our Coldwell Banker blog, that you can leverage and use for your own social media and newsletters. Please do. Thirdly, I'd ask you to make sure, as we talked about, to really qualify leads for your fellow agents. As you would appreciate it, you'd want as full and complete information as possible so you can help them have a successful transaction, and then you can also get paid. And then lastly, submitting those referrals. We're so excited that you're able to use cbrefer.com now for international referrals. That was not the case before. So, you are able to submit referrals there, whether or not you have a specific office or agent in mind. And again, stay in touch with that client throughout the process. Make sure that they're getting what they need, that they know exactly what they're doing. And you can also work with that agent on the ground in the other country to just make sure you're updated and make sure the client feels like they're having a great experience. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be misunderstandings. There always will be when we're communicating with two different languages as a person's main language. So I think the more that you can handhold and be a part of that process and really work with that partner agent, the more successful you will be.
Thank you, Caitlin, for those detailed next steps. We are now going to move into a Q&A portion. I've already updated the controls, so everyone should be able to unmute and come off camera. And if you'll then just raise your hand, and we'll select people to start the Q&A.
And I have put in a lot of those links in the chat already, so you can definitely refer back to those as well about what we talked about in our presentation for y'all.
Yes, Isabel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. You mentioned a company called Dot was that for business card?
Yeah, so Dot's a company that actually they create business cards, and they even have these little like almost AirTag style designs. And basically you go in and you can order the business cards, and they can actually like go to a point where you actually tap on the phone and your information will go to that other person's phone that you ever tapped on after you created the profile in the company. It's just one example. There are tons of others though. I would highly just recommend searching digital business cards on Google, and you will see so many pop up.
Gosh, no one has any questions? Were we that good?
Well, Caitlin, I have a few questions for you.
Okay, fair enough.
So Caitlin was so great, but we had to learn a lot even with this. So I want to know what's the most effective way to submit, but also manage those international referrals through the Coldwell Banker Network. Are there any common things that you see that you think agents should go ahead and already have fixed and ready to go?
Yeah, I think really understanding the timeline and the, how do I word this? The seriousness of the client is probably the number one thing you can do, right? Sometimes we'll get leads or we'll get referrals in the system that just say, oh, I have a buyer for this place and here it is. There's no budget. There's no property type. There's no timeline for when, a real lead, you have all of that information. And it is going to take an extra few minutes, right, to talk to the client, make sure they have what they need. I would say that that's the number one thing. The other is trying to get ahead of it as much as possible, because I will often get calls, and I know sometimes this is not a choice any of us make, but I will often get calls that are like, oh, I have a person in Italy tomorrow and they need an agent and it's already midnight in Italy. So those, when we can avoid them, it's helpful. I know it's not always possible, but like I said, I'm not trying to pick on Italy as the example, but there are different styles to working in these countries. So the more time you can give, the better results you'll get.
For sure. That makes a lot of sense. Go ahead, Morgan.
I have a question as well. Can agents connect directly with international affiliates, or do they need to go through our broker or a manager for introductions?
No, they can absolutely reach out to people. We have all that information, like you mentioned, on the Global Luxury website. All the luxury property specialists worldwide have their profiles there with their contact and email. We encourage them to reach out directly. However, for any referrals, they do need to go through the cbreferred.com system. That is just because we need to make sure that we have all the information about all the referrals going on around the world. Because it's also helping us create metrics and a story that we can talk about. And we are so excited to have that information, hopefully really impactful by the end of next year, as this is something we just implemented a month ago. But we really encourage people to connect directly, whether it's just to say, hey, I'm going to be in France, I'd love to visit your office. Or if they want to discuss a client in detail, but we can get them all that information through the system as well.
Amazing. Thank you. Before we start wrapping up, I know we just have a couple of minutes left. I would love to know if there's any other questions from the audience. Now's a great time. Everyone's able to come off mic and or on camera. So if you would just raise your hand, would love to get those questions addressed for you.
I see a question.
Yeah, Caitlin, that one's for you.
Yeah, Isabel, so there is no such thing as a corporate office outside the United States. So that is the first thing I would note. There is no Coldwell Banker Realty outside the United States. So everyone you work with is going to be a franchise of some type. And that goes for all of our brands at Anywhere.
If I want to connect with luxury property brokers in certain countries, how can I contact you for help?
So we prefer that if it's a specific referral that you enter it through the system, and then we will find you the best luxury broker that you can work with. If it's a very high-end referral, like above a couple $1 million, you can use global referrals at cbhomeoffice.com for any questions. But if it's for a specific referral that you have details for, you need to enter it in cbrefer.com so we can find out who the best person is, because there are places and locations where there may not be a Coldwell Banker office, and we may want to work with a different brand in that case. So that would be how we get you connected to the best luxury broker.
And then Isabel has another question. So I go to the CB referral site to choose. How do I know if the agent that I'm choosing is reliable?
You don't choose. There you submit the referral with all the details, and our team will choose the agent for you.
Okay.
Unless you know there's someone you already want to work with and they are actually in that market. A lot of times people will meet an agent they love from Italy at one of our events, but the agent's in Lake Como and they have a referral for Florence. And if you know the geography of Italy, they're not going to be the right agent for you, no matter how wonderful they are. So we ask that you send as much detail as possible in CB Refer. Like I said, if you know the agent, you can identify them. We can attempt to get it to them. If not, we will select the best agent for you through the system.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question from Veronica. What if we have a property to sell in another country, Caitlin? You love this
Well,
question from us.
Veronica
Favorite
set this up
question.
for me. So you are not selling properties in other countries, not as Coldwell Banker. That is the most important thing. You are licensed to sell real estate in the state in which you're licensed and where you hang your license. Um, we do not allow you to take listings in other countries as Coldwell Banker. So you have to refer it to the local Coldwell Banker broker. There is the potential to have a marketing agreement with a local broker in another country, but those are severely limited to only your sphere of influence marketing, such as email campaigns and social media.
I did see a couple of other questions come in that I'm just going to address really quick. Isabel, for the Facebook luxury group, we actually misspoke. There wasn't an event invite that went out to everyone, but now Candace has put the link to the group in the chat. And so you can go ahead and just click in there, log into your Facebook, and then request access to the group, and they will put you in. And then this is one more question for
Little
Caitlin.
pause on that, Morgan. I do
Yes.
not have access to that. But if you want to reach out to your local marketer, we can work on getting you the invite for that Facebook group, and getting that approved.
Yeah, and I do also want to note that that is specifically for luxury property specialists that are certified. So if you didn't receive it and you're not certified, that's why, because it is a closed group exclusive to luxury property specialists.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And then Shelly asks, I have a listing that I would like to reach out to brokers in foreign countries. Would that be considered a referral?
No, that's not a referral. What you're looking for is global marketing opportunities. And as the ladies discussed, there's a lot of them through both the listing syndication we have that's going to get you exposure in other countries, also being on the Global Luxury website. And then as well, we have our global marketing program and all of the different aspects of Coldwell Magazine advertising that are going to get your properties in front of other brokers.
Okay, perfect. So now just wrapping up with resources and recommendations, Candace?
Yeah. So thank everyone for joining our session today. I know we pushed this a little fast towards the end, but y'all had some great questions. But we also hope you found all of this information valuable and learned so much about our international connections and network and how you can leverage these opportunities to grow your business. Again, special shout out to Caitlin for teaching all of us about what you do and these opportunities we have with those global networks. As you move forward, we do encourage you to spotlight some of the resources we've shared, like visiting the Global Luxury section on desk to explore all of our tools and resources, going to the coldwellbankermarketing.com links that I sent earlier. This will allow you to sign up for the upcoming workshops through Field Marketing or Global Luxury, as well as viewing past workshops that I've also created a link for YouTube on there for you. If you need to schedule time with the next available team member for technical support or marketing help, you can use the next available option, as well as don't forget our final workshop of the year comes up on December 10th. That's leveraging the luxury marketing. Be sure to be registered by visiting coldwellbankermarketing.com and select the date. We look forward to seeing everyone there and continuing to support your success in the luxury market.
Hey, thank you, everyone. This concludes our workshop for today. Hopefully you learned something new, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any further questions that we weren't able to address today.
And thank you for joining us, Caitlin. It was great to have you here. Very valuable.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope everyone learned a lot today.
Absolutely.
We did.
Thanks, Caitlin. Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye-bye.